Lila is poison. Sorry, that kind of extreme language is inaccurate. Lila is a cancer on this show that makes everything around her worse, slowly infecting them with her poison until it reaches and breaks through the point anyone can stand it. Yeah, that's much more appropriate. Honestly, I'm kind of impressed because Lila is a unique kind of bad. There are bad characters who makes no sense and who are generally a drag on the narrative, but I can hardly think of a character like Lila who has such a unique effect of making all the characters around her worse whenever she appears on screen. It's actually amazing. Usually when a character is bad, they just make people think that that character themselves is a bad character, but Lila makes you focus more on other characters being bad rather than on herself. Although I guess it would be on brand for her to deceive people into thinking the problem is everyone else rather than her. She is a liar. To truly get where I'm coming from though, we need to take a step back and look at Lila's history throughout the show. Specifically, her history of lying to characters not named Adrien and Marinette. In her first appearance, Lila claims she knows Prince Ali. I guess Rose didn't keep in touch with him. She also claims Jagged Stone wrote a song about her. How do you even lie about that? And to the girl whose hotel Jagged is constantly staying in, no less. I mean, I get pretending to know him, that's actually not uncommon in their class, but pretending he wrote a specific song about you? What song do you think she said it was? She also claims to know Hollywood directors, which I guess at this point is better than the last two lies, at least it's not someone Nino has met personally. She gets an interview for the Lady blog where she claims that Ladybug saved her life.
I mean, has this Lila girl hypnotized everyone or something?
Oh, Marinette, I wish. Anyway, Lila proceeded to disappear for a whole season before we get a reveal of where everyone thinks she is in Catalyst. She's been pretending to travel around the world and is currently pretending to stay in the kingdom of Achu, having been invited with her parents to go there by Prince Ali, even though he was in the United States at the time. Wow, I guess Rose really didn't keep in touch with him. This is also where we learn of Alia's new character trait of writing off all of Marinette's claims that Lila is a liar's jealousy that she hid on Adrien that one time. And I suppose it almost makes sense. The reason Marinette knows that Lila is a liar is because she lied she was a superhero and friends with Ladybug. What doesn't make sense is Lila's claims that she somehow convinced the leaders of several nations to help reduce world pollution. No, really, she claims she did that and everyone buys it. We then find out she's actually at home and has been lying to her mom about school having not reopened because of constant acclimatizations. Successfully. For a whole season. Her mom is apparently a diplomat, by the way. Her mom has never received any messages from the school regarding her absence and supposed travels. She's never seen anything in the news that would contradict what her daughter says. She's never noticed when she goes outside to her job at an embassy that nothing else is constantly closed for months. Chameleon opens with Lila's return, beginning with her rearranging the class because of alleged tinnitus and hearing loss that apparently needs her to A. rearrange where literally everyone sits, and B. just so happen to sit where Adrien is currently sitting. She also was somehow not caught for excessive lying when she came back. Did her mom just not talk to anyone? Did no one mention the acclimatizations that have been allegedly keeping out of school? Or the supposed travels and humanitarian work Lila has been doing? None at all. Anyway, back to the alleged tinnitus. She apparently got her hearing issues from saving Jagged Stone's lost kitty on an airplane runway. Now Marinette has to sit in the back and she gets to sit next to Adrien. I guess French schools don't require notices from doctors about medical problems. She gets everyone to do things for her by claiming she has a sprained wrist, which doesn't stop her from catching a rolled up napkin. And her excuse for this is actually wild. She claims she was scared the corner of the napkin would injure Max's eye. Look at the fucking distance between the napkin and Max. This one makes me especially angry because she didn't need to tell us such a blatant and flagrant lie. The napkin was aimed for her face. She could have just claimed she was scared she would lose her own eye. Would it have been better? A little, but honestly the main thing this lie would do is make sure that it's physically possible to believe her. It's also very important to remember that at this point Marinette tells Alia and Nino she knows Lila is a liar because she followed her and overheard her claiming she knows Ladybug. Nino is more focused on the fact that she followed her, and Alia says that she can't prove Lila isn't friends with Ladybug. Now Marinette could claim she also witnessed Lila being called out by Ladybug, but that would make things way too easy for her.
A good reporter always verifies her sources.
Adrien, bless his heart, tries to get Lila to stop lying and offers her his friendship. She rejects it because she's not really interested in stopping her lies. After the battle with the Akuma, she continues to lie about having tinnitus. No one except Marinette notices that she's referring to the wrong ear. Adrien then tells Marinette not to call her out. I kind of agree because Marinette is really bad at calling Lila out for her lies and would definitely just get more discredited, but his advice that it's okay to let her lie because they personally know the truth is actual dog shit. She then claims she no longer has tinnitus when she is at risk of having to sit next to Marinette. It's completely gone. Everyone buys this immediately, of course. She doesn't tell any egregious lies in Oni-chan, but I feel everyone would probably have asked why she mass texted everyone a picture of her kissing Adrien. Somehow including Kagami, whose existence she only found out like 10 minutes ago, and Gabriel. Did she text the picture to everyone in Paris? How did she get his number? Anyway, the episode ends with Gabriel deciding that the extremely manipulative girl who clearly has romantic interest in his son would be an excellent ally, so he lets her convince him to task her with protecting Adrien from bad influences and other people who have romantic interest in him. In Miraculous, she convinces Chloe she has a magic command to summon Ladybug. And not only does Chloe fall for it, but it leads to a lot of trouble. But somehow Lila manages to get away with this with the flimsiest of excuses because Sabrina being akumatized and Ladybug showing up to fight her totally means that it worked. Chloe would later on agree to be Lila's partner in crime when her redemption arc completely fell on its face. Time Tagger barely has her having any screen time, but she does lie to Nino's brother Chris that she created a rapping video game. I guess she's relying on him never telling his brother, or Nino just never thinking that it's strange that his 14-year-old classmate claims to have created a popular video game. And then there's the Ladybug episode where Lila has convinced Gabriel that Marinette is a bad influence. How? But he apparently completely trusts her. She also claims to be friends with the best manga publisher in Japan, to Nathaniel, which, who doesn't she know? Anyway, the main plot of this episode centers around Lila trying to ruin Marinette's life. First, she frames her for stealing exam answers. Then she claims Marinette pushed her down the stairs and also frames her for stealing a family heirloom. Of course, the idea that Marinette is telling the truth about Lila being a liar occurs to literally no one but Adrien. Marinette gets expelled and everyone almost gets akumatized. I mean, it's not like Marinette has spent the last 3 seasons establishing she's a good and trustworthy student who has never once done anything like this that they know of. Honestly, how no one realizes she's faking a leg injury from being pushed down the stairs is beyond me. Did they not send her to the doctor? I know that they can't really mess with the character models on this show, but does no one question why she doesn't look like she was pushed down the stairs? Alia at least realizes it's not true. She won't believe Marinette's claim that Lila is just straight up lying, despite the fact that she absolutely has to be to claim she was pushed down the stairs. But you know what? I'll take small victories where I can get them. In the end, Adrien has to force Lila to lie and prove Marinette's innocence. And how does she pull that off? By claiming she has a disease that makes her lie. I cannot make this up. She admits to framing Marinette for exam malpractice, assault, and theft, then hand waves it off with "I did it because I have a disease," and everyone buys it. And after this episode, Marinette doesn't even use this to discredit all of Lila's other claims by pointing out she's publicly admitted to being a compulsive liar. Realistically, this incident should give Marinette infinite power over her forever, so of course the story needs to forget that it happened. And so, somehow, in Risk, Alia has just completely decided Marinette has no credibility in claiming Adrien told her he doesn't want to be a model and leave Paris, mostly because Lila is involved. So now Alia just thinks Marinette is a liar, just plainly. Please note, this is after Marinette has told her that she is Ladybug. What did Alia say again?
A good reporter always verifies her sources. Can you prove she doesn't actually know Ladybug?
And finally, we move on to season 5, and the only character I can actually believe falls for Lila's lies, Kagami. Mostly because she doesn't know her and Lila keeps her lies relatively tame around her. And she even recognizes that Lila isn't particularly honest when it comes to Marinette and sets clear boundaries because she thinks they are just beefing. And so we come to the episode that prompted this video, and we learn that Lila has multiple people with whom she poses as the daughter of and uses lies about traveling internationally to get around having to spend time with them. What? How? Why? How? How? One of her mothers is a diplomat, right? She works at an embassy. Does she not notice that her daughter has never actually gotten on a flight out of Paris? And then she somehow gets everyone to forget that Chloe is a horrible person that rebuffs every attempt at redemption and writes off Marinette's incapability of changing her as simply her being too busy being romantic with Adrien. I guess they all think they're still in season 2. She then convinces Miss Bustier to hold another election so she can take Marinette's place as class president, because it's totally unfair that the election was held while she was absent. But she wasn't even a student when the election was held. She transferred in like halfway through the class. Well, actually, see, considering they haven't graduated, it can't be halfway, but either way, she wasn't even a student. Do they plan on just having a new election every time a new student moves into the class? Especially considering there's only 2 weeks left in the class. Why even bother? What's with... So she manages to emotionally manipulate everyone into voting for her, and it ends off with Alia still convinced she's a nice girl. Do you see the problem? Honestly, plotlines like these, plotlines that focus on how everyone thinks the main character is just being out of character and lying about this one specific side character, are really annoying because they are so hard to pull off properly. Like, you believe everything someone says unless it's about this one person, then the idea that they're lying is just beyond your comprehension. The effect Lila has on other characters around her is completely detrimental. I don't like using this term, but I have no idea what to call it other than saying this. She's a goddamn Mary Sue. The universe bends over backwards to accommodate her and all of her bullshit by giving everyone laser-guided amnesia so they forget everything that's happened in the past in order to buy whatever bullshit she feeds them. Why does Marinette think she's a liar? It's not like she fucking admitted to it. I know we've been friends with Marinette for months or even years and she does everything to help us, but this girl who we rarely see is clearly so much more trustworthy. Why would she lie about her amazing achievements? It's not like she's lied about the craziest things before. Fact check her? Why? Why? It's not like she would ever lie. Who do you think she is? A human being? Why doesn't Marinette like her? It's not like she almost got expelled for cheating and assault because of her. Why doesn't Marinette believe in Chloe and think she's terrible? It's not like Chloe isn't the fucking worst. The idea Lila would ever lie seems to be a concept that none of them can even imagine grasping, let alone consider. Lila's lies would be one thing if she was a better liar who came up with less convoluted, more easily believed things, but she doesn't, and she isn't. And the thing is that this has a detrimental effect on all the other characters and the audience perception of them, because it makes them all look like horrible, idiotic friends. Do you have the slightest idea how many fanfictions exist solely to point out how terrible everyone is for falling for Lila's lies before having Kagami or sometimes even Chloe swoop in to rescue her from these terrible idiots who never believe her? The biggest criticism in episodes she appears in is that everyone is stupid. And Adrien is not excused. He and his overly positive idea of believing in people, and the writers really needing Marinette to stop trying to prove Lila is a liar because of how easy that would be if she took a moment to think about it, led to her not being stopped in season 3, and so here we are. And honestly, neither is Marinette. Lila's lies are so egregious that I straight up don't believe she can't prove them to at least Alia. Like, come on, try. Honestly, it's so bad I barely have it in me to praise the fact that her plan in Revelation is actually pretty fucking brilliant. I'm too busy stuck on how no one, not her classmates, not her school, not the multiple people she's apparently deceived into adopting her, has once caught on to the many egregious lies she tells. And I accidentally saw some leaks that make it even more unbelievable, but I'll keep those to myself. She's a 14-year-old girl, for God's sake. I find it easier to believe that Felix has access to spyware capable of breaking into Gabriel's whole shrine to his wife than anything that Lila has been doing lately. But on a serious level, the teenage antagonists are portrayed as so much better at achieving their goals at Gabriel, and it's really funny. The biggest problem with Lila is that her presence immediately drops everyone's IQ to 0, it drops Adrien's IQ to 10, and it drops Marinette's IQ to about half of what it currently is. And we're just supposed to accept it. She makes people forget things they know for a fact, and it just makes them seem worse. Honestly, I'm really hoping it doesn't get worse in future seasons, because if it is...
I told you I don't want it.
It doesn't matter what you want.
But what do you think? Am I wrong? Am I simply a hater like Marinette who can't see what an angel Lila actually is? Tell me in the comments, and while you're at it, hit the like button, check out the playlist for more content where I'm probably going to be more calm than I am in this video, and subscribe to my channel for more. Thank you, and good day.